Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to episode 75. 75 episodes. We're going to have to do something special when it gets to 100, just for no reason. Like, just, you know, that's a big...
I was thinking the same thing. I was typing out earlier. I went 75. Went, that's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. And then it just instantly makes you go, oh, road to 100. Road to 100.
Yeah, 25 away. Yeah.
So, yeah, another 25 eps. There's not 25 more weeks and we've done it. So, and it's not like you can just put more in. Like, no, it has to be one. You have to stick to the script. You can't just try and get to 100 quicker. There's no quick way of doing this apart from doing the hard work. Big up to each and every single one of you, man. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to United View if you haven't done so already. Big up to James coming through, the official fourth member of the Trinity. You know, which works for
how that works.
Exactly. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like. Yeah. Let's get straight into it, man. You guys get your super chats in, get your members chats in, etc. Use your perks, man. Use your perks. Let's get straight into what Ruben Amorim has been talking about in the presser this afternoon, because there's a whole load of quotes that I want to go through and, you know, how he's feeling, etc. But the first one is about Benjamin Sesko. I don't know if it's first thing he said, but it's the thing that I paid most attention to when I was reading through the quotes, watched it back yet. And that is about Ruben Amorim being available against Arsenal. And he said Sesko
being available.
Where? Sorry. Yeah, Benjamin Sesko being available. What did I say?
I hope Ruben Amorim's
there.
Yeah, I hope Ruben's there.
I think he should be. But watch this space. Wait, Indy Kaler are going to confirm. There's 9 p.m. 9 p.m. They're going to have an update about Ruben. Sesko is ready to play on the physical point of view. He is ready, a big component in our league. Then he is really smart. Every detail he asks, and he is always thinking. We will see if he starts. So he's ready. There's no, well, we're going to have to keep him back because, you know, he's just got here and, you know, he's only had a week with the team. No. He's physically ready.
He's not Harry Potter. He can't start for a few months.
Yeah. Do you remember that all-timer? Who was that? Ugarte, innit? Oh,
Did you see? I think there was someone.
He said it again.
He said it again. Yeah, he did it with Leverkusen. He said, "I'm a top coach who understands top processes." And I thought, oh god, it gave me a bit of a shiver.
I haven't
yeah. It was talking about processes. It's a process, and I thought, we've been there.
Wow.
Imagine coming into Bayer Leverkusen I know not last season, but season before they won the Bundesliga. You know what I mean? One of the best teams in Europe, and going, it's a process.
But I don't know. Do you know what? I'm not going to be that guy to Eric. Listen, he's gone now, guys. Come on,
it's over.
He's gone. And to be fair, they probably are at a bit of a process because they lost a lot of players. And they didn't win the league last year.
Let's not be a bitter X. You know.
Yes, let's not do that. Let's wish him all the best. But good luck to the Leverkusen fans because it's a long slog. Right. But Sesko, he's ready to start. How happy are we about that? Because for me, I'll kick it off. It's just an absolute must against Arsenal. Even if he weren't in great shape. And I know that might sound negligent, but like if you just knew he could only play a half or 50 minutes on the dot, like you still just got to give us that lift. Like we saw against Fiorentina, it is not an option. Obviously with Rasmus Højlund, it's not an option. But let's be real. Yeah, when we're more settled, you might be able to play Mbeumo up front against bloody, you know what I mean, Burnley at home maybe or something like that. But anyone who's got a bit about them, we bought these guys for their attributes facing the goal. We don't want them back to goal against two big centre-halves. Just, no, we don't. And I think, Owen, you said it. That was like, you know, one thing about Fiorentina, which was really frustrating. It was like, it was just screaming out for that focal point. But you go, we just unveiled our focal point before the kickoff.
It's a good thing.
It's fine. It's a good thing.
A good thing.
But with Arsenal in mind,
sounded a bit Spanish, didn't it? Well, the problem is that when you said, that's what I felt. I know what I'm saying will be like, are you just trying to spin a bad result into a like, oh, it's good. But it was kind of good in the way that you go, oh, this game really needs a centre forward. Oh, if we'd have had someone that was really tall in the box, we could whip crosses. That would have been great.
We did. He's in the directing box. There he is. We can play next week. Oh, cool. There you go.
You know what I mean? That's at least positive. You know, if we'd have had that and Newcastle had signed him, I'd be like, oh, that's a bit annoying.
Exactly. But, so that was a worry. But my biggest worry after that was you can't do that against Gabriel Saliba on the first game any game of the season. You can't play Mason Mount against Gabriel Saliba as a false nine. You can't play Cunha and Mbeumo. Like, it's not what we're set up to do. We need somebody up there with some presence. If that means he can give us 65 minutes, 70 minutes, and you got to take him off, he's got a whole week to recoup, and you go again. But for you, James, surely that's got to be the way. It's Arsenal. You got to give everyone a lift. Start the 3 new signings and get us all, you know what I mean, up for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a season still of progress, of work, of climbing back up. It's not like, I know it sounds bad, but we can afford to start players who are not 100% in tactically, because we need them to play in the games to get to 100% in tactically and to find their place in it. That's why we signed them. That's why we did it. We're not going to win every game this season, but we need the good players that we've brought in to be on the pitch and to provide that kind of, like you say, that uplift. And the other thing about it is that what's so frustrating, how many times, how many years have we watched United play and said, oh, we don't have a player in that position? There's always a position we just don't have a player in. And it's been a striker very often. It's been a right winger very often. It's been a left back very often. It would be really nice to start the league and say, yeah, we need some upgrades still. There's more business to be done, but we actually have a team. We actually have a team of the right profiles. And that striker is such an important position for Ruben Amorim. When you watch the way he wants to play football, he can't play without a striker. I mean, I think it's a big position in football in general. It's one of the most influential positions there are, but you have to have a number 9. He needs it so bad, that big, fast, physical guy to run the channels, provide that outlet, help you, get deep and push teams back from pressing you, to pick up the ball in the midfield, to win those headers and things like that, to have someone for Brian Mbeumo to cross it to. That was my biggest takeaway. I think it was from Fiorentina. He put 4 beautiful pinpoint crosses into the box in that game, created 4 chances in one game.
Yeah.
We need somebody in there finishing those, and that's Benjamin Sesko. And that will be a way you can beat a team like Arsenal as well, is, be able to, because they're going to do that to us. They're going to do those set pieces. They're going to do those corners. We have to be able to do the same to them. And I think that Sesko would provide a huge, huge boost in those areas. That's why we got him.
Yeah, I totally agree. Looking at that game, that's what I thought. I mean, I know that there was quite a lot of frustration, meltdown after the Fiorentina game. Oh, we're not ready, and it was like, well, actually, it goes to show that it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible either. In the sense of, you go, if you just have.
That was my side.
I was thinking,
like someone moving a chair into metal and like the ceiling.
Yeah. I thought it was like a Godzilla movie. I was going like, start shaking. No, I thought if you did have that target man, then I just feel like you said, and Mbeumo, he'll whip those crosses in. Cunha will as well, and he'll be less kind of isolated of. He's got to be a striker. He's not a striker. He struggles, I think. Thank God, actually, we did see in those couple of preseason games that need the focal point, need the 9, because we couldn't have done a season without a striker. Well, like we couldn't have. We would have had to go with Højlund, because something is better than nothing in that position. What is quite interesting, I just saw Simon Stone. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I saw
someone say a tweet, but what's he said?
Well, he doesn't do like breaking transfer news, so this is quite surprising from him. He's sort of suggested an alternative to Carlos Baleba. He's written an article, and he said there's a lot of talk about Manchester United's interest in Cameroon midfielder Carlos Baleba, and just as much around Brighton's insistence the 21-year-old is not for sale. Whether a deal happens or not, the fact United have not moved to quell the discussion suggests the interest is genuine, and that despite the assurances he is happy with his squad, head coach Ruben Amorim knows there is a flaw that needs addressing. And if they're keen on Baleba, do United have a backup option? They have, and this is where it gets weird, because I don't know if we have been linked with this player or they've just done it for the purpose of the article. But it says they have been linked with Sporting skipper Morten. Is it Hjulmand?
Yeah, I've seen that link. Yeah, we've been linked with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone Amorim knows very well from their time working together in Portugal. Now, this is where he kind of is doing a bit of an exclusive. He says, someone I've spoken to with an understanding of Hjulmand's situation believes the 26-year-old Denmark midfielder will move this summer. United do need to start selling players, but I'm guessing that if they exhaust their inquiries for Baleba, their sights may turn to Lisbon. Which, again, if it was almost any other journalist, I mean, bar like David Ornstein or Romano, you'd go, well, it's very speculatory. But Simon Stone doesn't do that. So unless he's saying he's got indication from somewhere, whether that's the player side, whether that's the club side, and they've gone, actually, I know what, maybe this is Manchester United's response to, Fabian Hürzeler talking this morning in his press conference saying I'm very, very confident Baleba's going to stay. And we have seen this out of the Ineos playbook before of last season with Ugarte. Well, we'll go after who's the guy from Burnley in the end? Zanderberg. Yeah, we'll go after Zanderberg. We'll go get him, and our attention really turned away from Ugarte. But it was like we've got options. I don't know if that's the case here or it's legitimate, but kind of
I've seen it. I've seen that link a couple of times to Hillman. Obviously, listen, sporting captain, you know what he's about in Amorim's system. He's a high volume tackler. He quite gets after people. Maybe not as mobile as maybe some think he is, but he fits the profile of kind of what we're looking for. He's okay on the ball as well, but I can't see us pivoting straight to him.
That's an interesting one. United were quite interested in him. It was either last summer or 2 summers ago. I can't remember which one, but they were very interested in him. So they will know about him, even aside from Ruben Amorim knowing him as a player. I would say he's not the same as Carlos Baleba. He's he's much closer to Casemiro in the way that he plays. He's quite a bit slower. But he's a better passer, than probably Baleba and Ugarte, but not as good on the ball as Baleba would be. He may be more similar to profile wise to a bit of Adam Wharton than he would be Baleba. If you compare 2 top Premier League midfielders, they're a bit different. He's a good player, but he is different. It would certainly be different to going for Baleba as a type of signing. I don't know if you can get a type of signing like Baleba though. So.
Speaking of whether we can get that, a good friend Alex Crook has just done a thing for Talksports.com because that's his job. He's the chief football correspondent at Talksport, and he's tweeted it, but I'll click it now. He says that Man United are ready to accept that Carlos Baleba is not for sale this window. More here, so we'll go to the more here. And he says Manchester United are ready to accept Carlos Baleba is not for sale this summer. Talksport understands United remain keen to sign Baleba, but are unlikely to make any formal approach to Brighton unless they are given encouragement. The Seagulls are open to offers. As previously reported, Brighton owner Tony Bloom wants to keep Baleba for at least 1 season. Bloom believes Baleba will eventually be worth as much as 115 million. Should that valuation remain intact next summer, it means the Red Devils will need to stump up that fee, etc., etc. So it's kind of as you were. Someone put Crookie Bomber in there. Does that line up with kind of what Simon Stone is saying there, whereby it's kind of because there was a thing this morning, wasn't there, of going Man United might. I think it was Samuel Lucas. That was it. Samuel Lucas said that Man United maybe have kind of accepted that they might have to delay the signing for a year because they feel like maybe next year might be the time that they can get him. And if that is the case, so now you've got a couple of people coming out going, it's kind of looking a bit next year-ish. But there is enough to go get a midfielder, then maybe they do look at. All right, then should we go to get Hillman? Yeah, because there does have to be. What is going to have to happen here is clearly we want a number 6, absolutely. And I'll speak about some of the options. What Ruben said, because he started talking about Mason Mount potentially in that position. But we all know that Ruben wants a number 6, right? So if we can't get the guy we really, really, really want now, there has to be some middle ground. There has to be. I'm going to make a call to see some
flex
things.
sources.
I'm gonna make a call. I'm gonna make a call.
Your tier rating's under threat. All right.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. There's only one tier 1, James. I'm just gonna call Crookie. I'm just gonna see what he's saying. I'm not even gonna bullshit.
Not even gonna bullshit of I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna call Crookie.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing this for clout. I'm doing this because I can literally. This is what we're here for, and I could get more information right now. So I'm just going to go and see what I can do. That's what we're here for. We're journalists.
Exactly.
So you guys carry on.
SJA award-winning Fleck. Yeah, this is what it's going to Flex sources. But that is quite interesting, though, James. To be honest, do we feel that then? Because there was the thing yesterday of people them sort of saying, "Oh, Man United maybe they're going to try and not make a bid, but make an approach." I think that's what Romano said. Going to try his way of making an approach. Is this maybe a bit of an indication as to how far that approach got?
It could be. It's hard to say. It's been I'm curious because we're getting a lot of 50-50 on this. You know what I mean? They kind of made a bit of a contact on Tuesday with Brighton and kind of started those talks a little bit to get an idea of what they might want to do. And then you got like something from the Telegraph that was like, well, they're not going to pay at this price. But then you got something the next day that was like, well, actually, we're working on a bit of an offer for him, a bid, but we need to sell a lot of players in order to do it.
Yeah.
And then you're getting kind of back and forth. The way I think the thing is today, we need more money. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like the price that it's at, if there's a chance, is going to be quite high. And we can't even do it until we sell players. So if you were to take it at face value, I think you look at like what Simon Stone said. He's like, once we've exhausted all possibility on this. I don't think we've exhausted all possibility on this. I think that once we sell some players, and if we sell some players, which hopefully I'm sure we'll talk about here, but hopefully some of those actually get over the line, we'll have a better chance at it. But it's not like a deal's close. It's like it's when we know it's not close. We know it's going to be hard. We know that a lot of things have to go right. I don't think we've walked away from it in terms of the interest. I think there's a lot of steps in the process of even this one having a potential to occur. So we'll find out.
I mean, I made the point this morning that when, because a lot of the comparisons are drawn with this and the Caicedo deal of that, you know, it'd be a similar amount of money that Brighton would be looking for. So that was 115 million. And it was, I think on the 7th of August, 2023, I brought up the article, interestingly enough, from Simon Stone during that window. And he wrote an article on the 7th of August saying that the deal that Moises Caicedo was expected to stay at Brighton that summer, and they were very calm and relaxed, and he'd signed a new contract, and 11 days later he was holding up a Chelsea shirt. He'd signed for them. So there is still a long time. There's still about 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks to go into the end of this window, which in football is still a really long time. Like a lot can happen. And season starts this weekend. It's amazing sometimes what results do to things, to priorities, and going, oh, maybe we're not as ready as we thought we were, or maybe we're more ready. And we can actually wait until next summer, and let's just get someone a little bit extra in at the moment too. So I'm with you. I wouldn't completely rule it out. I do think it's really interesting. Right?
It's like there's
and that's what Brighton do.
Yeah,
Brighton always have a price. It's not like this. Like I thought it was interesting when the suggestion was, oh, we might go after Adam Wharton, because I was like, if anything, that might be even more unlikely than Carlos Baleba, because at least Brighton's
just saying no,
absolutely blanket. A bit like with Mark Gahey last summer, when he's like, no, but he's our captain. We're not going to do that now. Whereas Brighton would sell at the right price. It just depends what that price is and whether or not people can afford it. Exactly. Yeah. Flex, did you get some sources? Did you get some info? This is when you go,
Owen.
Yeah.
Owen,
it's over.
You need to press the breaking news button. No, you don't. You don't. I'm joking. I didn't
have it set up either.
He's really flipping it. It kind of just backs up, obviously, what he said. I'm not going to do too much, but put it this way, it's more from the Brighton side.
Right. Sure.
Of what they've been
this
told.
Morning. Yeah.
There you go. Brighton side are like, nah, we understand they're onto other targets, and also some stuff about, 12 point something K a week is really wide of the mark. They paid 30 million quid for this guy. He's not on like 12K, like people say, etc. But that middle ground of turning, pivoting to other targets seems to be a thing. But again, I did also bring up, what we said this morning, Owen, of like, done a bit of digging, and you look at the like someone said there, T says, Brighton PR. You look at what happened with Caicedo and then the types of things that were being written in the lead up to it. And then he was gone 11 days later. But the difference from that is, which is from the discussion I've just had, is the difference is Chelsea's finances are a lot stronger than Man United's and have that to go bang. Let's go.
We need the money. And that's what we were talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. Man United, it's not really that. So yeah,
and it does say that in the article, to be fair. It says United remain keen to sign Baleba, but are unlikely to make any formal approach to Brighton unless they're given encouragement. The Seagulls are open for offers. So basically, unless there's a willingness, which they're kind of like, as of right now, we've not got. Again, then I guess it behooves Ineos and Manchester United to explore other options if they don't think there's a deal to be done, because they'd rather do something than nothing, right?
Exactly. So a little bit of clarification, just a little bit of top up on what we just heard, because I spoke to the man himself. But yeah, I'm not doing more than that. Say, I've just heard this and no, it's in line with what's there. Nothing crazy. But it is just another piece or a level of understanding that this is just getting more unlikely. But until it's completely off, it's not completely off, is it? Things can change in a transfer window just like that. But as it stands, I'll be honest, there's a lot now that are speaking to the club, and not in this case, to be fair. This was, like I said, the Brighton side, but there's a lot that are speaking to the club that seem to be, sort of getting that same sort of line. Probably not.
Well, here's one then.
Is that United trying to bring it down just in case we don't?
Maybe. I mean, here's one then. With this development and with the development that there could be other options, do we still think we sign a midfielder in this transfer window? Do we get someone before it shuts, do we think? I think we still do.
Between James, what do you reckon?
I'm not sure. I've been going back and forth on this because you can't really get much of a clear answer. And I was listening to some other people too, like like Laurie at the Athletic, and he's kind of had the same thing in his Q&A yesterday. It was like, don't know if they'll actually go for someone else. It's tough. It's like, could we move for? They've spent 200 million. We might get some sales to recoup some of that money. The idea with BALEBA, and what kind of is a little confusing about even some of the negative reports on it, is the whole idea here is he's going to be more expensive later. He's going to cost more next summer. There's going to be more competition next summer. The whole idea behind the approach now was to get ahead of these other clubs, to bring the budget forward, buy now, go into the debt and figure it out later to balance the books. Are they going to do that for someone else? Or was that specific to BALEBA being in this unique position where he's maybe the best midfielder possible that we could bring in, and he's going to be more expensive and more difficult to sign next summer? It's hard to say, whether they will see someone else in that vein. Like you take the Yeoman one, good player, but Sporting have been asking for the 80 million euros for him all summer. Are they willing to take the same kind of risk in bringing that money forward now? He's not going to be more expensive next summer. If anything, he'll be cheaper next summer. So I'm not sure how they'll see it in that sense. Like, is it worth taking that extra risk on the finance? Is it worth taking that extra step? Or do we just say we're going to ride it out for the year like we were kind of planning to? And if we can't get the best player?
Maybe, I mean, again, this is just complete hypothesis here. And we've got over 1,400 people watching. Click the like button, halfway to 500 likes. And be sure to subscribe. Do we think also that knowing that for the likes of Mateus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, and Benjamin Sesko, the strategy was very much, we'll only bid if you say that you only want Manchester United. And because that has been successful for them this summer, they'd probably try and continue it next summer. Do you think they maybe have
that
had
was mentioned?
Those sort of,
Sorry, that was mentioned.
Had those, that's what I was going to say. Have they had those conversations of like when they say
the pushing of BALEBA, like him trying to agitate, is a bit wide as well.
Well, I was going to say, have they maybe had that discussion of with him? Like it's not going to be able to be done this summer. Obviously, if you get that agreement of you can go next year with Brighton, can we rely on you that you would prioritize us over?
Oh, right, yeah. So would leave
because everyone's going to be in for him. Next summer, if he was completely open to, like Brighton said, we'll definitely let you leave this summer. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Would you give priority to us?
Most clubs in the Prem would be having a sniff around him. But if they've had that conversation of, look, if you're telling us, yep, we'll go for you. You'll choose us next year, then we'll go get you next year. If anything, that's easier for us to do. But can you give us that kind of guarantee now? And do United believe it as well? And even that's a risk because of like, well, if you finish 15th again. It doesn't really matter what I said to you a year ago. You finished 15th. You didn't hold up your end of the bargain, right?
Exactly. So, it's risky. I think there's so many factors as well, of what it will actually look like next season. So I hear what you're saying, James, because essentially the player's got 1 year less left on his contract. Who knows? Brighton might not have as good a season as they did in previous years. And there's loads of factors of why he could be cheaper. But he might be cheaper by that, but he could be more sought after because he's available, which makes it harder for us to get him. So I do think whether it's for money or competition, whichever one, it's harder for us to get him next year.
I think so. Well, the thing I was thinking about is about this summer is making a comparison, say, to Sesko and Watkins, right? Like, why did we end up going with Sesko? Because they said, well, let's get the guy who's going to be there for the title thing, not now, which was Watkins. Ollie Watkins was the now option that they thought would probably be better this season. I think if you know, kind of the message from them was like, Watkins might be better today, but why do that? We're trying to get a title done, not this year, but in a couple years. So let's get the guy who could be that guy in 2028. Well, if you look at the midfield, that's kind of where I'm like, well, they obviously would be willing in a way to take that risk on BALEBA and spend a lot of money because he could be the guy that takes you to the title. If Yeoman is not the guy to take you to a title in 3 years, then I'm not sure they'll go spend the money on him this summer. It just depends how highly they rate him. That's the confusing part of it as well. That's kind of unknown, you know. But I almost compare the two things. Like, I don't know, do they think he's that good? That Yeoman is a title-winning midfielder? Because I don't think they're going to sign anybody for big money that's not someone they think will be there for the title.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be worth it, would it? It wouldn't be worth it, and that's where we're going to start getting into, like you say, the cosign of Ruben. He's my guy. I had him in the one titles in sport, and I trust him. I think, does he think he can be that guy? Because, you know, like you say, someone said in the chat, you know, pivoting from BALEBA to Hillman, they are very, very different types of midfielders from what I've seen. Obviously, I've watched a lot more of BALEBA, but anytime I have seen Hillman, like, he does get in people's faces. He does cover a lot of grass, a lot of interceptions and stuff. Better on the ball than Ugarte. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But he's no Carlos BALEBA, nowhere near. So what does that stopgap look like? Because we still have a gaping hole. It's almost like your tooth is decaying and you can feel the pain, and you go to the dentist and they're like, you do need a filling, or you do need a crown, you do need this, but you're going to have to wait. You can't get that yet. But all right, well, I can't just leave this decay and I'm going to be in big trouble. Then I'm going to need a root canal. So what do we do in the meantime? And then it's, you know what I mean? Okay, I'll give you sometimes they give you temporary fill-ins, and we'll put this on for 3 months, see how it goes. I'll come back and see you. Temporary crown, all of that. So it's kind of like we're that tooth. That's our midfield. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do? Or do you just go, right, well, it's not this substance, what I'm putting on the crown is not the one you would have got, but it will last you a long time. But it's not a BALEBA crown. it's not that. Well, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be, because we've made our intentions clear by trying to explore a deal, even if, like you say, it doesn't work out to be that and it's improbable because it's too much. We've made our intentions very clear that is what we're going after, and there's money to be spent in that position. But if you were going to commit big funds, like saying, I agree with James, is if you're going to part with big money, it has to be for the one that can last for what the aims are. You know what I mean? What the mission statement is, which is the 2028 thing of win the league. So I don't know. If you get someone older, if they're really cheap, not I say really cheap, what's really cheap in today's market? Really cheap today for a midfielder is like 30 million. Let's be real, 25, 30. Are we going to do something like that for a guy that's a bit older? That even if you get BALEBA next year, at least you still got that guy because he's actually quite good. He could be a squad player. But you can't get someone too important if you still want to get BALEBA next year.
It's like when we were linked with Rabiot the first time, wasn't it? Before when it felt like for a period there, we was like, oh, we didn't get Frankie de Jong, and then we lost the first 2 games of the season. Like, oh, let's go get Rabiot, and obviously that didn't happen for whatever reason. He decided to stay at Juventus for another couple of years. But United had this look of they're just trying to get anyone in now. They're just trying to get anyone in and just try, because they realize what they've got isn't good enough. And I do agree with what James is sort of saying there. Then I don't think this structure will fall down that trap of being like, well, we're not going to get BALEBA now, but we've got to get someone. Let's just get anyone. Yeah, I think it'll turn into well, who's on the list anyway? Should we have a look at them? Can we sort of pursue that? Is there a market opportunity? And maybe if there isn't, maybe Ruben's telling the truth of him, going, well, I'm happy with what we got. Obviously, it'd be good if we could get someone else, but the people we want aren't attainable right now, or we'd have to overpay and we can't pay for them. So we'll wait, because there is still this feeling, well, there should be anyway, with the amount of money we've spent, that we still should be better than we were last season, right? Well, our squad is better than it was last season. We have an entirely brand new front line. That should be enough. If they can score goals at the level that they're expected to score goals, that should be enough for like 20 extra points for us this season, which should be enough to get us like close to European positions where we should be. Yes, we would still have midfield issues. Yes, we'll still have an issue with a goalkeeper, but we still should be better. And then those issues can be addressed, depending on what happens with some of these exits. Maybe in January, we can have a look at the market then, because we might have some money left over from some of these exits. Or it might be, we'll see what happens and get through this season. We're playing less anyway, so we can afford to have a smaller squad. Next year, if we're back in Europe, we'll have the money to get the midfielder that we want, and that target can be available too. So, yeah, it depends, because Ineos have showed ambition, haven't they? They've showed ambition, absolute ambition. So you can't question that they haven't. But it goes back to what is actually our targets again this season.
Well, and I think that if you'd taken 2 weeks ago, we brought in 3 forward for 200 million, 3 top forwards, great players, and they decided to spend that money. And so you have to understand that the assessment of Ruben Amorim and Ineos and Wilcox and Barada and everybody was that that's more important than the midfield. And before the BALEBA thing became a serious story, obviously people were still asking for a midfielder and a goalkeeper, of course. We know that. But the assessment from them was we're going to be way better if we just get these 3 forwards. I think that the kind of the danger in the BALEBA story coming out is when the odds that it didn't happen, which were pretty high, and that it still, not that it's 100% not, but if it doesn't, that people will do that thing to say like, well, now it's really bad. The midfield's going to destroy our season and we're going to be in 15th still because of the midfield. I don't think that's true personally. I don't think that's really much of an issue. I think we saw in preseason, they can play good football with the same midfield. When you had the right forwards on the pitch and you had the upgrades on the pitch and you had these other things on the pitch. If the assessment was by Ruben Amorim and everybody that they wouldn't be able to make it into Europe without a midfielder, they would have bought a midfielder first. They would have bought a midfielder earlier. They don't feel that, and to a degree, we'll have to trust them on that front if they don't get this. The BALEBA one, I think, again, came up because it's like, this is your dream midfielder and maybe we can get ahead of everybody and do it. They've had targets for the midfield. They had Adam Wharton and Ederson on their list all summer for the midfield, in addition to BALEBA. They didn't do it. They didn't make a move for either of them. And they could have gone for Wharton earlier in the summer and maybe got him for 80 million, which we spent on a striker, which we spent on a right winger or right 10, which we spent on a left 10. They could have done that. They could have got Ederson for 50 to 60 million at any point during summer if they wanted to. So they made that kind of assessment. They made that kind of decision, and it's going to be a huge point of contention between anybody with the opinion that the midfield might be all right and a lot of fans, because it's just this big argument point, isn't it?
Let's talk about it actually, and bring up some stuff that Ruben was saying from the presser. Because it kind of is linked with BALEBA / just our midfield, right? This decaying tooth that I keep talking about. Ruben Amorim asked if Mason Mount could play deeper in midfield. Maybe Mason Mount is a player who can play in that position if we want something different, but we have players to cope and win games. So not loads, but he's talking about Bruno as well. He says, I want Bruno near the ball, which is really important to our team. Now we have players with different characteristics who can cope with that. So we will try to manage the game by game, the players for the best positions. And he said even last season when he played as a midfielder, he was the player who had more shots near the box. So I think it's a good thing for Bruno to stay in one position during training. So that bit's a bit interesting, because he's essentially saying that whilst we're in this phase and he's training, you're not floating around being this 10 and doing everything. You're going to stick to one position. So that's talking about, really, if you read between the lines, about the discipline of Bruno's positioning, of what it can look like. Now he's basically saying, now we've got people like Cunha and Mbeumo who can take that load off of Bruno, and Bruno is a midfielder now. It's all about the prep work of him playing that position and homing in on that position, because he's our new midfielder. He's our new central midfielder, it looks like. We've all got our views on that, which are very mixed, but a lot of people do tend to agree that him playing there will give us an issue.
Which was going to happen regardless of a transfer,
which was going to happen.
Like that was going to happen, yeah.
Which was going to happen. But then it's Amarim's, I say gamble. Well, it is a gamble because you're taking Bruno out of his most effective position and putting him somewhere else. So it is a gamble. But that gambling, I'm taking him out of his strongest position, but I'm replacing him in that position with like 2 real like top players in that position, 2 arguably specialists. I know Mbeumo's got a bit of work to go from a right winger to a right 10, but we've had a look at him already. It's not going to be that deep, let's be honest. And Cunha already plays there. So what he's basically saying, I feel that Bruno, Cunha and Mbeumo will do what they need to do to subsidize that because Bruno's not in that bit and Bruno can just play in midfield. And yes, he'll have to adapt, but he's still getting most shots in the box. He's still doing this. He's still doing that because he's that good. So it's going to be. It's just all about the partner next to him, man. Out of what we have, there's games where it's right to put Ugarte there. There's games where it might be right to put Kobe there. But for the whole team's going to have to function at a really high level for us to mask this for a season. That's my thing with it. If we're going to like get by with what we've got, like our wing backs, our centre halves, the one that jumps in to help in midfield and the protection with Bruno, with Cunha and Mbeumo just ahead, like it's all got to just work so in tangent to protect the lack of this new 6. And I don't know. When I talk about it more realistically for Sunday, without just going, I think we're going to win. Like, if we are going to lose, a big part of it will be because we might not be able to get near Arsenal in midfield.
That might be the case. Super chats, Fleck.
Yes, let's get them done. We've got like 10 here. Right. Ray says Fleck, Owen, and evil Owen. Title charge is on. It is on. And speaking of evil Owen and Owen, like we said, there is a new show. There is a new show on its way. So look out. Keep looking out, guys. Things are happening. Deals are happening. We haven't finished. We are like Ineos. There's more to come.
Soft launch. Smile with a soft launch of the Thursday show.
Soft launch. Soft launch. You know what I mean? Who knows? What's up, guys? Fence Fleck, how many goals will for Sesko? How many Premier League goals? Sesko's gonna score. What did he get? 13 last year, innit?
Did you see that? Because I don't know if this is based off that, but there was a clip that was going around. I think it was on the Stick to Football thing, and they were saying about how many goals Gyökeres was expected to get. And he was sort of going, sort of 10 Premier League goals, 15. And
they were saying 10? Sesko, sorry. I thought you said Gyökeres.
No, he said Gyökeres.
No, you did say Gyökeres.
Gyökeres, yeah. It was like, Gyökeres, how many goals? And he's like, sort of 10, sort of 15, And they were going, well, you buy a big name striker, you're expecting a bit more than that. But his point was, that's kind of changed. You're expecting your front three to get goals. It's not just on the striker anymore. It's not like back in their day where your strikers got 25, 30 goals.
Depends who you are, though, because Isak's doing that.
I don't know.
Watkins does it. Haaland does it all the time. But other than that, number 9s, there's not loads who do.
If we were looking to sign a striker and it was like, they scored 10 goals last season in their domestic league, you would sort of go, I don't know about that, I don't know.
Well, Sesko's only got 3 more than that.
But maybe things are a bit different. But season before the last, it was more than 13, wasn't it? That Sesko got in the Bundesliga, right?
Yeah, so last 16, there weren't loads.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's part of the course.
Yeah, but then he did decent in all comps, didn't he? Didn't he score a lot more in the cups as well? From whatever.
Yeah, all comps he got way more than 13. Yeah.
And again, that's the sort of weird thing, isn't it? Because if you score like 20 goals in your league you play, and you go, in your league. Goals. That's
he got 21 total last season for this club, which is a pretty good number.
Yeah. If we're saying with one game a week, if we could, obviously you got to put the Premier League tax on it though, innit? So and everything. So if we're saying that Rasmus Højlund, that's Benjamin Sesko has 21 goals in all comps, that's very good going because we ain't in Europe. So that means a lot of them would have come in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean?
And then you got Mbeumo, and Mbeumo last season got 20 in the Prem.
And that was that's what we have to improve. That was in a 2 as well, like splitting. He wasn't the focal point because Openda is kind of the guy there actually who gets more forward. So
I think we'll have to wait and see. I think it's going to be fascinating to see what happens with Sesko. How many goals? I'm just so excited to see him play. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't get a chance to answer. I've done a range before, so now I'm going to narrow it down because we're in the close of the season. So I was like between 13 and I think I said between 13 and 16. I think I said 17, but I'm going to narrow it down now. I'm going to say Benjamin Sesko will score league goals or all.
League. So he said Premier League. Premier League.
He did say Premier League. Premier League goals. Benjamin Sesko is going to score 16.
Oh,
that's a big number.
It is a big number.
More than 13. More than last season in the Premier.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I've got him at 14 because I got Cunha being our top scorer at like 15, 17. Yeah, because I think what I've been really impressed by with Cunha in preseason is he finds himself in the box a lot more than I thought he would. And if you remember, like the I think it was the Everton game, he nearly got a couple goals. And same in Fiorentina, you had like a last-ditch block. And the other reason I think he's going to score a lot of goals, he's really good with both feet. He's better with both feet than anybody else in the team. He's so good with both feet. Is this breaking
news? What's happening?
It's breaking news. I can press the button.
Is it here we go, Jane Sancho? What's going on? Press the button.
No.
I can't hear anything.
What is it?
Oh.
It's not good.
We can't hear anything.
It's not good.
It's not good. Oh, no.
BALEBA. It's done. It's done. It's over. It's over. It's over. We
can't
hear
that,
by the way. No, we can't hear
we couldn't hear it. What was it?
That is a disgrace. David Ornstein has tweeted saying Alex Crook was indeed absolutely spot on. It says that Manchester United are not planning to proceed with Carlos BALEBA move this summer. Indirect and direct contact between clubs, but Brighton clear he's not for sale and feel the level of fee to consider the deal too high. The 21-year-old midfielder is keen on Manchester United, but not unhappy at Brighton. So basically, everything that Alex
can we just
absolutely spot on.
2 seconds here. We're going to talk about the news, but I think it's very important to do that because Ornstein's just come through. And people say crooky, they don't know nothing. Crook by name,
crook by nature.
Yeah. At the end of the day, he's just come straight through and exactly what he said, which was fact checked by myself during this very show, he's come through. So yeah, big up to Crookie. And like I said, I would do 2 things. The Indy Kayla thing. Okay. They had a good run.
Yeah,
had a good run.
They've had a stinker. Yep. They've had an absolute stinker.
I said, I kept honest. I said until I get the Ornstein that says, I literally said it this morning though, and I said until Ornstein says, all communication is off and it's done, then we got to take these guys seriously. Now that's not that, so it's done. And shout out Alex Crook. Ornstein's come through. However, we were just discussing the feeling of this, weren't we? Of like, it's feeling like the briefings are there. It's not really that. And now it's who next? What next? That was something we looked at. It was something we wanted to do. What next, guys? What next? Who next? How do we deal with this problem?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who is next? Well, again, is it Huymond from Sporting? Is it someone we haven't even thought about? That is the big question, isn't it? I mean, I suppose, look, we shouldn't be too shocked that this basically isn't happening because from the get-go, people like David Ornstein and others stressed that it was really unlikely or difficult that it was going to happen. So when we're told that it's not going to happen, United have sort of walked away because they've not got any indication that the deal could be possible. I suppose we can't be totally shocked by that, can we? It is disappointing.
No. And Huxley was right because he said it this morning at 9 a.m.
I think we were all hoping, because they've been so good at getting deals over the line that they'll do it. Like we were never close, but everybody's like, "Oh, we've been able to get them done. That we could get something here." But I mean, he says, "What, 115 million pounds, and we're not willing to pay that this summer." I mean, that's just what it is then.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder how much money, once again, we do have because. Clearly, if they were discussing that, could it be feasible to go and do a deal for Carlos BALEBA? There must be then a considerable amount of money that they think they could still spend if they wanted to.
100%.
So
100%.
The question is now, once more, is just are they willing to spend a significant amount of money on a player that was kind of secondary to a pursuit of Carlos BALEBA? Does this mean that United will try and go get a goalkeeper because they've got the money to do it? Or once again, is it, Onana, he's not going anywhere, so we don't really think we're going to move for a goalkeeper just yet. that's why I asked the question earlier on, do we sign a midfielder? Because it'll be interesting if this is just the end now of our incomings because this BALEBA thing's off, or if it's the beginning of a new story, which is, who's next? Who's the alternative? Do we need an alternative? Very interesting.
Yeah, and Fabrizio's kind of put it as we made contact again today, and they say, we're just not selling him no matter what. And so we've said, all right, that's it then. So we tried.
That's where Indy's going to come back in. Indy's going to come back in and say, no, well, they did try.
He said we bid 70 plus 10. He's already put the tweet out. He said we bid 70 plus 10.
Because he must have seen it and gone, oh, shit, I got to put something.
Yeah.
I got to pick something.
Yeah. Well, I just tweeted overrated anyway. Didn't want him, not enough experience. So
that's it. That's what we've got to do. Always been the biggest Manuel Ugarte fan. Come for me, guys. I'm ready.
Yeah,
exactly. You'll see. You will see.
Yeah.
You will see.
It's over. It's over. I will be honest. Like, it's true. It's true. Chris is right. Don't get a panic buy.
Yeah.
We'll regret it. Like, we'll regret it.
Yes.
Like, the BALEBA thing was a dream for as long as we could dream for a couple of weeks, and they showed a bit of intent to look at it, but we just can't do it. We're not that shocked. Let's be honest, guys. We're not that shocked. I don't think any of us had done cartwheels saying, oh my God, we're going to get him. Oh my God. No one even did that because we all knew like it was very difficult to do. We obviously all wanted him. We can't play that down. We all wanted Carlos BALEBA. Yeah. But it was probably never going to happen, was it? This summer.
Well, we were doing the Dumb and Dumber thing, weren't we? We were doing. So you're telling me there's a chance. Every time they go, no, we're not. No, we're telling you it's really unlikely. So you're telling me there's a chance. We're telling you it's probably not going to happen. So you're telling me we're going
but it's
to
still
sign him.
Something.
And it's like, no.
Yeah. And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. You can't. Now it is about right. The BALEBA thing's dumb. We need to stop talking about him, the player. But how do we solve this problem in midfield? How this is going to show us a lot about Ineos actually, because like you said, the first three deals we did were players who all wanted to come here, and not necessarily release clauses, obviously, but just it could be done. And also you're talking 62, 65 million pounds ish. This was a mega deal. Like Owen, you said it this morning. I had to make you rerun it and pause. Like, hold on a minute. We're about to break our transfer record. Like, are we okay? Is this gonna? This is a massive deal.
We ever spent more than 100 million on a player,
right? And usually that doesn't tend to be on the. And that doesn't tend to be on the fourth player you buy in a window as well. That's right. The priority is this guy because he costs so much. So how do we deal with this setback? Of course it's a setback because this is the number one target and you can't get him. How do you pivot? Do you have option B? Do you have option C? Is it worth going for option B or C? Is it worth that much waiting for him and trying to fill a void with what we have? I don't know.
Well, we have to get interesting. Someone. In the article, Ornstein says, moving to Old Trafford appeals to BALEBA, so personal terms would have presented no problem, obviously. And the Cameroon international is prepared to keep pushing, even if it means waiting until the future. So they're based, and he says once more, a bit like Alex Crook said, he's not unhappy at Brighton or anything like that. The dialogue is cordial with United respecting their stance. So there is kind of this feeling of, if he really wants to move to, like I said earlier on, if he really wants to move to us, United will be prepared to wait for a year and go in for him. And like you said, maybe he's priority number one for next summer's transfer window. The first person we get through the door is Carlos BALEBA. Maybe there is something in January we hear about. United have spent the best part of 12 months working on this kind of thing. Or maybe by respecting Brighton's stance, they want to make sure, well, we don't want to piss him off because we're going to make an offer next year for him. We want to make sure that dialogue is still very, very open. So if United have made that decision of we're going to get him next year, then maybe, like I said, maybe they don't go for like a massive midfielder in this window because they're like, what's the point? We're going to get BALEBA next season. So why would we jeopardize his
what if we want
position?
two? I think that's the only question. If we
that's the one, isn't it?
Because the debate is someone going to leave next summer? And are we going to end up with two signings needed in the midfield? That's the question.
Wow.
Because you can get one now, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Casemiro will definitely leave next year. Obviously, he's on a free. And And who else have we got? Kobe
we have
and
Kobe, Bruno, Ugarte.
Collier will come back off loan. So that would probably be a permanent sale of some sort, you'd imagine. Yeah, I don't know. Our midfield needs, because you know what's weird now? You're going, oh, we've got this money now. We don't know how to spend it. What do we spend it on? Because it's
we must have some money, yeah.
Yeah, we've got money. Bro, we've got money. We were trying to get a deal for
Do
BALEBA.
we need that money for next summer now to buy BALEBA?
For him.
If we spend it now, we might not be able to next summer. So
I know are you disciplined enough that then the challenge then becomes, are you disciplined enough to put that money to that side and go, we're not touching that. We're not touching that.
When
you go and play Arsenal at the weekend. Yeah, you were 10th, or you play Arsenal at the weekend and you lose like 2-0, and you go, I could have done for midfielder today. They go, that money's there. Like,
I think they're going to just move through the regular plan, and if there's someone else they wanted in the plan, they'll get him. If not, then they won't sign anybody.
So what you're telling me is that we should expect advances for Adam Wharton. Is that what you're telling me?
Maybe we'll try. Maybe we will try.
Yeah. We did try with BALEBA, didn't we? We did try. We did try.
Maybe we'll try.
Maybe they
try him. And you know what's funny about that deal? Try with Palace now. They're so pissed off. They're so pissed off they didn't get in Europa League. Fucking Steve Parish is like got egg on his face. Eze might be going to Spurs. You don't want to be picking up the phone going. So Steve, right? Basically, before you get angry, right? Just hear me out. Just basically. We were looking at that BALEBA kid from Brian, but we couldn't get him. I just wanted to see if there's any Steve? Stephen? Hello? Steve? Stephen?
Can we interest you in Anthony?
Yeah. I tell you who did really well in Europa Conference League last season, Anthony Dos Santos. He was in the final. He's got experience
for you. We'll see.
Oh, bro, we ain't getting. I'll tell you that for free. I wouldn't even. I'll be honest. I wouldn't even pick up the phone to ask at this stage. Louise in talks in Forest. Is that true?
Yeah, apparently. I saw that yesterday.
That's been rumbling for a little bit, hasn't it? Yeah.
I didn't know that. I tell you what, little late hijack of that. Get him on loan. You know, could we be a bit creative? Get Douglas Luiz on a loan. Do the Douglas.
Would we do a loan? Would we do?
Does he do anything for us though? Like, is he a partner for Bruno Fernandes? Because that's what we're talking about. Like, we need a partner, right?
Well, and also as well,
I'd have him over Ugarte.
What we don't want is a situation a bit like, you know, when we signed Amrabat and it was like we chased him all the way through the summer and he trained alone. Then we signed him on loan, and after a couple of games we kind of realized we were like, oh, actually,
you're
God.
but because it was a last day transfer and it was deadline day, we were somewhat euphoric of like, yeah, we got this midfielder that we were looking for, yeah. But we don't want to do that this time around, where because we haven't got BALEBA, but we're so desperate for a midfielder, we just kind of get anyone on loan.
Yeah, no, we can't.
They're great, and then we're like, and then we look at them and we go, yeah, they're not that.
No.
They're not.
But Douglas Luiz, I don't think would be that though. I think because he's got Premier League experience, so you know what he's worth. If you told me now you're just going to get Douglas Luiz on loan for a year, I'd take that.
We said that about Amrabat, didn't we? Go get Amrabat on loan for a season.
Yeah, but that was because I
Flex,
went to
you were there. You were in the
stadium,
Flex. You were in Qatar. You saw him running.
I was there. France against Morocco. Saw him rob the ball off Mbappe. I was sold. I was done. He was quick. But I realised that was National League tax. He's fighting for his country. It's a different passion. I've seen Douglas Luiz fight for Villa for like, how long was it? 3 seasons, maybe 4. Like he put in some serious work in this league.
Yeah.
I would take him for a season. Who else? We're gonna have to get creative. This is where I say my Lenny Yoros from Liga that I want a fast, quick centre back who can do X, Y, Z. Scholars, talk to me. I need something. Let me
You're gonna get a lot of shouts for Agume. I think a lot of people have been talking about him for ages.
Agume, haven't heard of him. Who's that?
Yeah, it's just a popular name out there.
Right. See, because then that's what will happen. There'll be the latest. It was Hayden Hackney for a bit. There'll be the next Twitter name. Whoever the next X name is, tell me who it is, because that's going to be the fashionable. We should go and get Hayden Hackney from the Championship. Like, Man United, never in for him, never looked at him, never going to happen. But it's like, yeah, he's all right, that guy at Middlesbrough. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I wonder how quickly that will come out from like your Ornsteins or someone of like, this is the next person. You know, because I just saw Ben Jacobs tweeted. Someone asked him and said, so United not going to get anyone now. And he responded to him by saying, there could still be a midfielder. I'll have some more soon. I'm still digging. So he said he's asking questions. He's investigating.
Yeah. So what does he come back with? Then they'll start being like, well, you got to think of it like this, yeah, because now there's a whole nother saga to be had because because it was the same with the striker thing. There was reports, Callum Wilson and Calvert-Lewin and Vardy have all been offered to Man United. I'm going into Talksport next day. You're going to get Calvert-Lewin. Look how the mighty have fallen. Then it's, Ollie Watkins is on there. Gyökeres is on there. Victor Osimhen was on there. But it's loose. It's like, we might
the
just
amount
get
of people I photoshopped in Man United kits this season, this summer flex. Strikers specifically.
Because of links, yeah.
Oh, my God. I think we've had Calvert-Lewin, Gyökeres, Sesko, Watkins.
Did you read that bit, Owen, of Ornstein
Which
saying
one?
Carlos BALEBA is prepared to continue pushing to sign for Man United, even if it means waiting until the future? Did you say that? All right.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. So basically, that's why I circle back to this idea of they might have had this discussion with BALEBA of like, if you're telling us you're willing to wait for a year, and when we come in for you in a year's time, you definitely are going to say yes to or prioritize us. I could see something like that happening, sort of a bit of an informal of, all right, Brighton will sell you next summer. We're going to come in for you. Just promise us that you won't go somewhere else. You're going to prioritize us. We'll have to hold up our end of it of like, all right, we'll have to do well in the league.
And what it looks like today is like with how Romano's written it, that, Man United made official and formal contact with Brighton today for Carlos BALEBA as expected. Clear answer from Brighton. No intention to sell, not even indicating a price for this summer. I think that really what was going on is those intermediaries, would he come? Could you reckon he'd come? Yeah, he would, yeah. Right, okay. We've got all our ducks in order. Right, you ready? We're going to go and ring him now. You sure you got that money? Or for an opening bid? Yeah. Omar, you ready? You got that? Got the paperwork? Yeah. Christian, you sorted? Yeah. Right, okay, I'm going to go now. And they've gone there straight away and gone, right, Tony, Carlos BALEBA, not for sale. Not for sale. Yeah, but like, could you just give us a ballpark? No ballpark.
Well, and even that, not for sale. And they're gone. And if he is, it's going to be more than Caicedo. And then there's just silence on the phone. And like Alex Cook said, we're not like Chelsea's finances were a couple of years ago when they just had the takeover. Their debt was gone. They didn't owe anyone anything. They'd also had a transfer ban a couple of seasons prior. Like they were sort of a freak in terms of PSR finance. That's why they spent all that money. We don't have that ability.
Yeah.
We probably did make some kind of, kind of was the plan to kind of make a proposal, like, well, what about 90 million? And they're like, nah, it's going to be 115. You're going to have to do Caicedo numbers. And it's like, well, we can't do that right now. We just can't do that.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. We'll call you next year. All right. We'll stay in touch sort of thing.
Yeah.
Hope you have a good season. Phone down.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel like today, with some of the reporting on BALEBA was more, they kind of knew, but didn't want to. So if you look at what Luckhurst put this morning, it's like he basically knew it, but I'm not going to be the guy to go, all contact is done. They were told no. Or, Simon Stone, he was kind of been told. I can see what's happened here.
If Simon Stone, that's what we were saying at the top of the show, is that if Simon Stone's writing an article about alternatives to BALEBA when he doesn't break transfer news, that says he's been told by someone at United, well, we'd probably have to start looking at some alternatives. Why?
Yeah. And I might be way off the mark on this. This is just me hypothesizing. There might be like a code within the journos, and I don't know. I do spend a bit of time around them, but not enough to know this. Of like, they all get on, or they might be like, "Oh no, David later on is breaking. Like, it's actually over. So let's like, we're gonna position it like this. Like, we know that the Ornstein's gonna write something later that's really gonna like kill it dead. I feel like there could be a little gentleman's agreement within the pack that's like, we have been told this by Man United.
Flex. Look, we're not signing Carlos BALEBA, but Manchester United have just made an announcement. They've landed Paramatch as its betting sponsor in a regional deal in Asia. Paramatch joins a sportsmanship portfolio a sponsorship portfolio that already includes UK-based Betfred, which has the rights to UK and parts of Europe. So who's the real winner, really? Yeah, Man United. Another big signing. Yeah, Asian sponsorship of betting.
Yeah.
So join Coca-Cola. We're still going to get the Apple Stadium coming soon.
Apple Stadium, we've got to be on that.
Believe. So Jim, he said Manchester United, one of the strongest. Manchester United, one of the strongest brands, world football, and along with Coca-Cola, Apple. So, just saying, a few days later, he said it was announced. 5-year partnership with Coca-Cola, and then in the article from Laurie the other day. Said that the new CBO said we've already made 70 million in sponsorships. Got 2 more coming soon. So we'll see.
Well, okay, we shall see. Yeah, we shall see. You don't go on loan. Why don't we go for a loan instead? Don't panic buy. Says Super Arch. Neil says Ugome, Kone, Anderson, and Onana are options. It's interesting, the Onana at Villa, because he's not like an automatic starter, is he? He's like Tielemans and McGinn a lot, and Kamara, who get in a lot. And then obviously he was injured a lot last year. So I wasn't sure about him at Everton. Yeah, I wasn't sure about him at Everton when he was there. And I was like, nah, when we were linked. But then I was really impressed in some of the games he played for Villa. But I don't know. It's a bit far-fetched.
Selling Ramsey, aren't they?
Yeah, selling Ramsey, yeah. Aki says, if we don't bring in a quality midfielder now, expect 10th or 11th. It's a 5 out of 10 window so far, in my opinion. We may start the season well, but by December we will struggle.
See, I knew this was going to happen.
Yes. That's what I was going to ask.
Everything's shit. It's shit. We're all shit. The whole season's shit. Everything's screwed.
Talk to us, James. All of us. Before I finish super chats, talk to us. How important is it that we have to actually not get like that? And remember, we've done some really.
We've got to. I mean, look, I've seen things like, we're going to be overrunning every big game. Do you guys remember the big games last year? We went to Anfield, put in a good performance, had a draw against City, draw against Arsenal, beat City, beat Arsenal. Like, we won big games. That wasn't the issue. It was actually not the issue at all. I think that as well, you have this thing where there's a distinct lack of faith in understanding, or maybe it's understanding of what Ruben Amorim wants to do with his system, with the way he wants to play. But there's a reason he picked 3 forwards for this team and spent 200 million. It's not 5 out of 10. You can't call it a 5 out of 10 window that we're going to get 10th or 11th when we got 2 of the best forwards in the Premier League added to the team. Goals win games at the end of the day. We scored 40-something goals in the league last season. Let's be real about our problems here. If we scored 60 goals with the same team, we'd be okay. We'd be in the top 6 position. It's like...
They're not having it, James. They're saying, 5 out of 10 because sales bring it way down. It's a 5 out of 10. We have sold no one. Still need a goalkeeper in central midfield.
With that, though, with the sold no one thing, then, are we saying that with those people that are saying 5 out of 10 because no sales, that in 2 weeks' time, it's going to be, then it's going to be better than that because it's not as if the window's going to shut and we're not going to sell anyone. To
their point, they're saying now, Friday the 15th.
Right now, but there's an end on Friday the 15th, does it? I mean,
why do we care so much about sales? Why do people care so much about that?
Well,
because we need the money. We need the money to get the next players.
It allows us to get more signings. Maybe I think.
Do you think we don't, James?
I don't think we do. Like, obviously, I think we need the sales to go and spend 300 million plus in a window. But you don't need to spend 300 million every window to become successful. Nobody does. I mean, we still have the highest net spend in England this season right now. I don't know if people realize that. I think in Europe this season, United have the highest net spend. It's a club that can spend money. We've never needed to sell to buy players. It's never really been the case. It's never going to be a selling club because it's a big club. It's just, obviously it helps. It gives you more flexibility. The main thing is we've bought such bad players. We've ended up like, we just want to see the back of some of these guys and not have them anymore. But it's like, I don't care. Sancho goes on loan and then we never see him again. Who cares? It just, this stuff doesn't really matter to me at the end of the day. And they'll be gone one way or another by the end of the window.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Maybe then the overemphasis is on the word sale, isn't it? Are we saying that as long as they exit in some form or fashion, doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a permanent transfer, as long as it's even if it's a loan and they're going to leave. So in the case of Sancho, it looks like anyway, as of now, that Roma thing is going to happen one way or the other. The Garnacho will end up at Chelsea. The window does not shut with Alejandro Garnacho being at Chelsea.
100%.
So those, so those exits happen, and then the flexibility comes with that being a pure profit sale. Plus, he's just not going to be back. So that's why I don't really jump on the whole. But as of right now, the window is this because, well, why are we judging it on something that isn't over? It's like saying, as of right now, this exam's an F, but I've still got half an hour left and I've only done half of it. Well, and I've got an hour. So you go, well, I've still got 30 minutes to pull this off. So you can't judge it now. Exams don't get marked halfway through. They get marked at the end once it's over.
Yeah. I hear all of yours. Gosh, there's loads here. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's go back.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that was the one. That's the one that got everyone going. This one here from Aki. Hope he hasn't come back with dropped another grenade in there. Zubidoo says they were never going to sell him this late. Only way it happens now is 2 losses in the 2 games. Still don't feel should have used Sesko money here.
Already turned on Benjamin. Already turned on Benji. Can you believe
it? Do we need him? Do we
really need him? You want to see Rasmus Højlund play the rest of the season? Like people, how quickly you forget. Okay, how quickly you forget.
And then when he scores his first goal, you see how good he is. Jake, we're gonna be like, see what you didn't want this.
Yeah, it's going to be. We blew our money on that streak of piss. Look at him. I can't believe this.
That worries me because
and 100 million for Bruno. Look what we've done.
Quick. Yeah,
we could have got an BALEBA in this.
People will turn on Bruno now, and they'll say, "Oh, we should have sold Bruno." And people will turn on Sesko when he doesn't score on opening day and say, "See, we should have bought a midfielder instead. We bought."
Yeah,
and that's what happens. It's toxic. It's toxic. I don't like it.
Well, it's 2 days before the Premier League season starts for us. Welcome back, people. Welcome back. We are stupidly
we're just
ready to do this all the way till May. I hope so. C1KS gifted 5 new memberships as well. Big up to you for that, bro. C1KS also says, happy opening weekend, boys. Oh, but then says, come on, you guys. I didn't realize you was an Arsenal fan. Yeah, you're a disgraced cheat. I hope we absolutely destroy you and you get relegated. But thank you for the 5 United View memberships. Well, I have seen C1 Chaos, your manager, has been talking about digging. Like Owen talks about sifting for gold, and you will find it. Well, Owen, if you look at the latest Arteta grab from his presser, you keep digging, you're digging, and you will find the gold. We have had the most points, more than any team in the last 3 years. It's absolutely incredible. We will keep going, and we will find. We'll find the gold. So. Owen, he's talking about sifting for gold, and that's your line.
Fleck, I remember when Leicester had a period of time where over the course of 2 seasons, they were in the top 4, the longest amount of time of everyone. They didn't qualify for the Champions League, and they're now in the Championship.
Yeah. And what about Spurs, by the way? Because I think they had a good run under Pochettino where they were actually the highest point total over a 12-month period, and they won nothing. They won nothing.
Exactly. Jared says 2-1 to United. Let's go. Need a win opening game. Absolutely. To lift it, after this BALEBA thing's over. Don't want people saying, see, oh my God, Zubimendi was too good. We could get there. Where's this 6? Because don't get me wrong, if I see that, I will be the first to say it because I have got concerns. But we will see. United Love says maybe it will be Licha stepping out from the free and progressing the ball with Bruno and Ngate in central midfield. We'll see how Licha does when he gets back. Of course, we've got a way to go. Jason says, unpopular opinion here, but I'd sell Collier. He's 21 with a handful of appearances, and he's still getting loaned. Better to sell now. Maybe we just don't know if those type of offers came in. Well, no, he's gone to West Brom on loan now.
That's what I mean. But if he does well in the Championship, he still might get sold.
Yeah. Oh, he will.
Probably will. I don't think he's going to come back.
Kristen says Andre Onana failed as an agent. Get rid now. Yeah, that's all you were good for. You bought him Bwems, and see you later now.
But maybe we will go for a keeper, by the way. Just saying, we're talking about midfielder. But if we have money, maybe Lamens. Maybe that's the guy for the future, and we'll do it anyway now.
Yeah. United Love says, be like Liverpool with Van Dijk. Stay true to your target. Make your existing squad work. Save the money and go all guns for your target next summer. This midfield with the attackers can get us Europe. That's what James is on. Yeah, that's a fair point. Josie says, Hillman and goalkeeper in now. Ugarte and Bruno sold next summer to get BALEBA. Go with a Kobe and BALEBA midfield and Hillman as an option. Josie's got it all worked out. Worked out. Yeah. Jay Bruce says, is he even better than Kone? And I think you mean Hillman. And again, we're not linked. Well, we are linked to Filtman a little bit, but it's not strong. Verbatim says Yoro Delit and Shaw. Ahmad left wing, right wing back. Dorgu left wing back. Bruno and Casemiro. And then Mount and Bruno and Cunha. Is that your starting team? Is that who you would go with for Arsenal? Is that what you're saying? Or are you talking about? Fine. Yeah, that is the team. Yeah, Sesko.
That must be a prediction.
Yeah, I think it is. Super Arch says by the November 1st last season, we only had 8 goals. Fucking hell, is that true?
That is so shit. And 3 of them were in one game.
About a striker. Yeah.
And 3 of them were in one game against.
Who do we beat 3-0?
Southampton.
Oh, yeah, Southampton.
I genuinely, people got to look at how many games we lost or didn't win by 1 goal last season.
Yeah.
Every single game we were that close over the course of the season.
It's true.
It's crazy.
Bavaskar says James definitely knows something.
No, I don't. I'm just the only thing I don't have anything to say here. The only thing I know is that this midfield thing is so not what they think within the club. BALEBA was this huge opportunity that they thought if we could do it, this dream target, you know it, Flex. I mean, you had conversations that I did too. Like, you know it. It was this dream target. It was not like a priority this summer, or they would have done it earlier. It was just like a huge bonus. Like maybe we can get this top player over the line. They so do not see the midfield in the same way that the fans do, as this gaping problem that's going to destroy our whole season. Like, yeah, we're not going to win a title with our options we have presently, but that's not the goal this season, or we would have bought Ollie Watkins.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that, Zubi. Zubi Doo says, without a CDM, you won't survive the first 10 games. Have Ineos showed their hand to the fans? United's midfield is probably not even top 15. And the midfield, especially because we only play with 2. I know. By the way, as well. And we only play with 2 actual midfielders as well, so it's very hard for them to be the best midfielder in the league.
Like, how can it be that bad?
But just in keeping caution to the wind, football can humble us really quickly. Like you just never know. If that game comes right now, it's poised, isn't it? If that game on Sunday now, we can't get near Rice, we can't get near Zubimendi, we're getting absolutely run through. You know where this is going. Yeah.
Regardless of if we signed anything,
even if we signed BALEBA today,
that still would have been a thing.
Yeah.
So
no, but the fact that it's happening and you're definitely not going to get BALEBA to fix it, it's like the Fiorentina thing. It's like, we need a striker, but he's there. Now it's like, well, you're not getting him. Sub N says as an end of window approaches, prices for everyone in the Premier League will go up. Wharton will be 80 million now. Somebody overseas might come in. And Jay Silver says we need to sell Onana as punishment. So rude. Jay Bruce says our team doesn't get worse if we don't make sales. That's what James was alluding to. And Space Odai says we can score 5 goals per game, but with that midfield and that goalkeeper, we're going to have 6 in our net. 5 out of 10. Well, we started with some positivity, and by what time is it? 5:15 on the 15th of August. It feels like we're back to the beginning of the window, even before we signed Cunha. That's how it feels. So yeah, episode 75 of the Trinity podcast. We'll see. We'll keep
predictions. We're gonna win. We're gonna win on Sunday. Yeah.
Predictions. I'm still predicting a win. Yeah, I'm still going to go for it. It's not even just all about logic and football. If you look at it, just it's a big game, first game of the season. Let's just have it. It's Arsenal. James, what are we going to win?
Yeah. We're not going to win the title anymore, but we're winning on Sunday.
Yeah. Imagine Skiliano. Imagine. All right, guys. Tough game to come. The lead up to it, we've got a video that I did with Turkish. That's coming at 9 a.m. tomorrow. That is a discussion about the 2 strikers, actually, Benjamin Sesko and Victor Gyökeres. It's a deep dive into how we feel about both players, how we feel both are going to do, etc., etc. And if there's anything else,
you didn't say in it that we were definitely going to sign Carlos BALEBA, did you? You didn't say like that in that video. We're definitely getting BALEBA. So that's good.
You just got to watch and find out what we said. Just got to watch, because sometimes when you're put in front of the Arsenal fans, you start off, everything's like, listen, let me have a look at this. And then they start saying things and you go, not letting you come in UV and do this shit. That's, and then you start saying things, remember like I did with with Tobes, and 2 years later, you know, Garnacho's going to Chelsea.
Garnacho, world-class talent, mate.
Still might be, mate. Just defend your players, mate. Yeah, it's this over everything. If you play for this badge, I will support you to a certain extent. But no, I didn't say anything mad. It was actually a really good chat between the two of us. Actually, a really measured, calm and measured chat. Yes. All right, guys. Big up to you. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you go and check out the Muppeteers. Check out James's channel. James, when are you next live? When can people catch you?
A couple hours from now, I think. Yeah,
a couple hours from now. Yeah, there you go. So in a couple of hours this evening, make sure you check out James's stream and subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to Owen Wrestle News 3655555, and of course subscribe to the Football Flex live tonight. Liverpool versus Bournemouth Premier League opener, and a reaction from me afterwards. Hopefully, having seen Evan Nilsson score a brace in front of the Kop, and they win 2-0. And Van Dijk is getting closer to retirement. But probably won't happen. All right, guys, we're out of here. Take care. Peace.